All right, guys, welcome back to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We are in episode 4 of Peak Week for wellness competitors. And Adam just disclosed off camera that he's really kind of digging this particular division. He likes where it's going. He likes the peaking process for competitors. And, I kind of led you in this question in the last episode, but regarding if there's something that you really see you have to peak people differently for, or is it still just completely dependent on every single client's position and need? And I like that you said, I finally got kind of a little bit of an answer from you in terms of, I definitely want to be pushing upward. I don't want to be retracting back, because this is a division where they want fullness, especially in the legs. Like we really want that progressive linear load moving in that direction as a primary goal. But is there anything that you're specifically looking for? What are your trigger points? Let's say you've got somebody who's riding that line and you're getting to Tuesday, Wednesday. How do you know you're going to make that big move into fullness, or how do you assess that?
Yeah, so depending on the amount of fullness that they're showing at night, I can usually predict like how flat or how tight they're going to be in the morning. I may sacrifice, Wednesday to be a bit lower, so then we can hopefully raise food Thursday, into the show, which this is a Friday show scenario. So I'm kind of more specifically talking about Sierra's Peak, since this is our first pro show of the year. So yeah, we're going in with some good momentum. And then for Friday, essentially, she bloats very easily. So the more meals we have, the less tight her midsection looks, but her glutes stay pretty full, luckily. They don't really seem to get too flat. So we're watching food volume very heavily, and we will really be managing water and sodium very closely on show day to make sure that we're staying full, keeping water in the muscle tissue, keeping stress low, and hopefully keeping those meals low so she can keep the size of her midsection down, since she does potentially bloat. So we're careful with just how much volume we're putting in.
I'm not sure until the bikini division came about that people really even understood or paid attention to things like fullness and flatness in the lower body. It traditionally has been so easy to gauge it on the upper body. Like, hey, do I feel full? My triceps, tight and full of glycogen, like all that. But I started seeing some trends when I was looking at photos of clients, and, especially looking for some of those things that display good peaking. So as I'm creating PowerPoints, trying to educate coaches, when you look at somebody, even a bikini competitor's hamstrings and glutes, in the difference in size and sharpness, just from meal to meal through this process, I mean, there could be a massive difference, and just the amount of glycogen you're storing and holding on to in the lower body. So when you're getting toward that ramping up at the end, I understand that's got to be there so that they're not too flat. But what about that client who is working just to maintain that conditioning? Maybe they're a little bit on the endomorphic side, so they don't have much margin to work with calories, and they spill over easily. Is it okay, in your opinion, to stay pretty linear and err on the side of tightness, and then make sure they get what they need to fill up through things like just extra sodium and water on contest day? Or, what's your process to note when somebody needs to be a little bit more conservative?
Yeah, I actually had some really good bikini competitors, about 2 of them that were very similar. They were conditioned enough, but we had to try very hard to keep them there. And they were on the endomorphic side just a little bit. So I felt like activity was a really good go-to, actually allowing them to saturate that muscle group with blood. So for these girls, specifically the glutes, I also found that it just relaxed them when they were standing backstage. I caught the idea that they were just nervous. They didn't know what to talk about. So I was like, let's get you moving bands and doing stuff that you usually do. It kind of kept their mind off of everything. And both of them kept looking better as I was moderately persistent about, 5 to 7 minutes of light activity, working some bands, getting your mind off things and pumping some blood into the muscle. Now with that, I noticed they all started drinking more too. which is going to hydrate the muscle tissue more. So I also made sure we followed that up with additional sodium, just so we weren't leaching minerals out of the body.
Mm. Well, that's a great start on our 5th episode, which is going to be on contest day management. So stay tuned. You stay put, Adam. I've got some questions for you on that one, and we're going to wrap this up in episode 5. We'll see you next time in Contest Prep University.